Call to order. All right, good afternoon. It is Tuesday, 5:30, May 27th. This is a public hearing for our fiscal 26 budget. I'd like to call the meeting to order and acknowledge that the press and public were duly notified of the meeting in accordance with the Freedom of Information Act. Our only item here is an ordinance 2025-03, an ordinance to raise revenue and adopt a budget for the city of Isle of Palm, South Carolina for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025 and ending June 30, 2026. Council will discuss this budget at second reading a little bit later tonight. This meeting's for staff to present budget highlights for the year and let residents ask questions. So Deborah, I will turn it over to you.
Sure thing. Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to go through the highlights of our proposed budget for FY24.
26.
I'm sorry, 2026. We did submit, this is in a lighter color, but Douglas is working with an older version, so it's kind of hard to see these numbers right now. But overall, our proposed revenue is $32,696,000, and proposed expenses are $30,141,000. We have some transfers in and out that equates to $5,238,000, and we are have a projected fund balance of $56,638,000. The next screen just shows a graph of where the expenses are, where our revenues are compared to transfers and our fund balance. It's hard to see on the screen, like I said, but that's just kind of breaks it down in the numbers that I just gave you in the graph form. I will give you a summary highlight of what makes up those numbers. As I stated before, we're looking at $32 million in revenue. That's 14% higher than we were in FY25. Those increases can be contributed to property taxes of $373,000. That is due to rise in market, not an increase in the property tax. Not an increase in the property taxes. The license and permits revenue increased by $725,000. That's due to a 15% increase applied to the base. And residents, the STR is increased by $187,000. It's also due to a 15% increase applied to the base. We increased grant revenue by 1.9, which those funds were awarded from FEMA and from some state allocated budget as well. Tourism income increased by $423,000. That's based on 98% of our actuals for the last 12 months that we're operating in now. And marina income increased by $378,000, and that's based on our current collections. Our expenses are projected at $30,141,000. That's an increase of 13% over FY25. This budget, as I stated earlier, does not include an increase to property taxes. The general fund revenues are budgeted at $16,489,000. That's approximately 11% higher than FY25 budget. The expenses are approximately 7% higher than FY25. That's primarily due to our personnel costs, and our personnel costs accounts for about 71% of the general fund expenditures and 41% of the citywide expenditures. The budget for FY26 includes one new position, and that's the Beach Resiliency Officer, and we anticipate filling all remaining open positions. Transfers from the tourism funds to the general funds are projected at $2,666,000, reflecting a 9% increase from FY25. This is approximately $214,000 increase, and that's due to the rising personnel costs. Tourism revenue are projected at $7.6 million. And again, that's based on 78% of our most recent 12 months.
98.
I'm
98.
sorry,
98.
98% of our most recent 12 months. And this budget does not include any new proposed debt, but it does include us paying off the 2006 GO bond for the Fire Station 2 that will be paid off in January 2026. That's not on those notes, but that was noteworthy. Highlights by departments, I just want to run through some general highlights, and then I'll kind of just pinpoint some of the big ticket items in our departments. For general overall, we have a provision in this budget of 2.5 COLA and 3% merit pool wages adjustment. There's $72,000 for city's tuition reimbursement for any employee pursuing higher education. There's $245,000 for initiatives recommended by the Environmental Advisory Committee and the Community Enrichment Task Force. These include water testing, glass recycling, smart composting, as well as state and federal lobbyists and grant writing services. There's $100,000 in there for flood mitigation project that has been ongoing. That should be wrapping up. $50,000 allocated to reconfiguration of upstairs conference room for additional offices. $250,000 for essential repairs and maintenance of this current building. There's $95,000 for benches on Front Beach and repairs for sidewalks between 10th and 14th. There's $285,000 for repairs to dune walkovers and replacement of movie mats as needed. $570,000 for beach maintenance, including nourishment, permitting, coordinations with USIS and rooms permitting, and ongoing shoreline monitoring. $300 allocated for development of the public green space at the marina and resurfacing the city's portion of the marina's parking lot. And then the large project of the dredging of $1.5 million at the marina. In our police department, there are several capital expenditures, including $217,000 for new vehicles. In our fire department, there are some large expenses in there, including a $300,000 allocation for the rescue boat that was deferred this year because we did not receive the grant. We're looking for a grant to cover 75% of that cost. There, in Public Works, we are proposing to buy the rear loader garbage truck at $320,000. And then there are some large drainage projects at $4.1 million, of which we have grants of $3.2 million to cover the majority of those projects. In our recreation department, we have some expenses, and the largest ones are the $220,000 for reconstructing 2 tennis courts and fencing in the tennis courts. And all of that detail is in there. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Resident questions?
Could you repeat that?
Resident questions? Yeah. Douglas, anything to add?
No.
And for those that don't like the detail, there is a one-page summary in our packet tonight of all the budget items. Going, there being no further business.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Off record at 5:41.